we have a very quiet week of weather ahead of us, which I'm sure nobody is going to complain about now that all the holidays are over. We kind of had a little bit of a hectic last few weeks in your personal lives maybe, so at least the weather will be a little bit quiet as we go into the rest of the first week of the new year. Right now we're looking at mostly light winds out there, but again, even these kind of winds are enough to make that slight impact on your wind chills out there. So our temperatures today are staying around the 20s, but again, like we saw earlier, those wind chills will stay more likely into the teens as we go into the evening. Winds will stick around into that light category, kind of dying down a little bit as we go into the overnight period. And then tomorrow it's looking like they're going to stay more on the calmer side. So wind chill really isn't going to look like it's going to be that much of a factor as we go into the next couple days, which is good because we still have this cold, dry air staying around us for the first half of this week. But thankfully, we won't really have to be dealing with any outrageously cold wind chills out there. So it's really just going to feel like good old-fashioned January outside. As we look into tonight, we're seeing lows. Again, this is actually fairly close to our normal typical lows for this time of year. 11 in La Crosse, 7 degrees in Eau Claire when you're waking up in the morning. Typical chill, calm and quiet out there as you're waking up. And then tomorrow, very similar conditions that we saw today, although it might feel actually a tad bit warmer because we really won't be having those light winds out there. As we see 22 degrees in La Crosse, 21 in Eau Claire. So really that's going to be the theme for the first half of this week, kind of that typical January feel to the air. And then we have some slight chances for some flurries, although we're really not tracking much in terms of any measurable snowfall until we get later into the week. If we zoom in a little bit and look at our neck of the woods, we'll have some clouds starting to move in as we wake up in the morning tomorrow, although there is indication that we could be seeing some clearing and see the sun poking out again later in the afternoon. Otherwise, as we go into the Wednesday, it's going to be a very similar pattern, kind of waking up to some overcast, but hopefully we'll have the sun poking out in the afternoon. Otherwise, once we move into Thursday night and then especially into Friday afternoon, that's when we see a good chance to see some flurries. Now, this entire first half of the week, it wouldn't be totally outrageous if we saw a couple snowflakes flying around, but again, we're really not looking at any measurable or accumulating snowfall until we get into Thursday night going into Friday. Now, you'll see this is very light. You can barely even see it. It kind of starts to get its act together a little bit as it gets east of our area, so it's looking like areas closer to Milwaukee could have a stronger chance of picking up some snow. But again, as we head into Friday afternoon, our area has a decent chance to maybe see an inch, although still a lot of questions around this system. And then after that, it's looking like we could see some snow coming into the weekend as well. So really throughout the day, throughout the week, for the weekdays coming up, we're really not seeing much in terms of snow activity apart from that brief chance going into Friday afternoon. And then this weekend is really looking just a tad bit more promising, but still overall not a whole lot of snow in the forecast, not a whole lot of change in the temperatures, briefly warming up as we go into the weekend, actually getting a few degrees above average, 30 degrees on Saturday. That's a heat wave in January. And then as we head back towards next week, we could be falling a little bit closer to average again. So kind of a quiet, calm weather week, not too many concerns, especially after the holidays. It's nice to be able to sit back and just kind of enjoy the January cold.
Exactly, just the cold. Yeah, we missed out on so much snow this weekend.
Exactly, yeah, we really dodged a bullet there.
We did, yeah. So we'll just enjoy our coldness for a little bit.
Yeah.
Thank you, Nicole.